I mean, he didn't kill himself, right? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and ridiculousness. Anyways, though, jumped over to Netflix today to watch a new docu-series that is very powerful, Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich. Stories from survivors fueled this docu-series examining how convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein used his wealth and power to carry out his abuses. So is this new Netflix docu-series a must-see? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, if you've already seen this or read the book that this documentary is based on. Now let's get into some of the good. So man, just getting into this 4-part docu-series, there's two different words I'm going to say this whole thing encompasses. It's powerful and it's absolutely disgusting. Like, the story of them diving into what Jeffrey Epstein has been up to, what his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, their relationship, and how they manipulated all of these people from like early 80s into the mid 90s into 2000s into literally just last year in 2019. It is just fascinating how someone that is smooth talking, extrovert, able to get all of this power and money, has the grip on all of these people that are celebrities, politicians, royalty, and different law enforcement throughout just all of these decades and whatnot. And I thought that the story of diving into, or it very much focuses on the story of these women that were abused, and they're sort of at the forefront with them throwing in kind of the history lessons of Epstein and how these acts that he goes after and does just keep escalating and escalating through the decade, and very much almost forming this pyramid scheme of pedophilia, which they show almost like a visual in this documentary. And again, it is just absolutely disgusting what these people were up to. But I did appreciate how they go a little bit more into Epstein's life, of how he essentially is this narcissistic con man from the very beginning of the get-go, and is able to talk himself out of any and every situation, which then makes sense of how he was able to essentially get all of these famous rich people in on this essentially sex trafficking of these minor women, and even, who knows, maybe boys in there as well. I don't know. But my God, I am watching this and I am just fascinated about how someone is able to do all of this horrible things, but able to get away with it, able to get out of prison, able to be in prison, but able to leave prison for like 12 hours at a time, because in early 2000s he is convicted of something at that time, and completely is just kind of like swept under the rug. He's able to leave to work, but he's still doing all of these horrible acts. So the history lesson into his life and the people that he has connections with, and then also the story of these women and how it essentially looked at as a business opportunity for them, because he targeted people that were hurt, abused, they were looking for money, and how they were, you know, blinded by this money, and it just has ruined their lives. And luckily in 2019, and earlier actually, when the Me Too movement started moving, they finally got a voice. They finally started hammering down on Jeffrey Epstein and all of these other characters that are put into this web of lies, essentially. And the thing that makes you really realize is all of these people with money and power are just straight up lying to your face, and then when you confront them and say that they know him, or Jeffrey Epstein even said that he was with those people, they go and try to cover their asses, lying again. I mean, it's just frustrating to see how these people are manipulating things, are corrupt, and they are just getting away with all of this stupid But getting into the cons, I mean, again, this is a powerful and disgusting look into this real life thing. I think that I had a few nitpicks with the structure of it, if that makes sense, because it does give you a full view throughout these 4 episodes of what has kind of the inception of everything, what has happened, a lot of key women in it, a lot of people that didn't come forward, and then sort of where Jeffrey Epstein ends at the end of all of this. but it is put together in this almost confusing manner because it's jumping between years here or there. It's sort of starting in the 90s, then the mid-2000s, then back to the 90s, back to the 80s, today. It does come together and really make sense overall, but when you're going episode to episode or even segments in the episodes, it feels a little weird with all of the time jumps. But also, I feel like this could have been... The material in this doc is fantastic for the point of view of the women and everything, but I almost feel like we could maybe wait a little bit and get this even grander scale type documentary or docu-series with more people coming forward, more history into Epstein and his dealings, and more of the people that he dealt with, the conspirators, and how they essentially take a downfall as well, because they only sort of touched on a handful of people. Harvey Weinstein, for example. I think that there's so much more to uncover, so many more layers to this onion, that I think that might need to be another series, a bigger documentary or something like that. I just wish that it dove in or had more information, especially the end of his life. Overall, Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich is a powerful and just absolutely disgusting docuseries on Netflix, with it very much giving the spotlight to the victims to tell their story and just showcasing how disgusting some of these people are that have fame, money, and power, but with it, you know, not really diving into all of the details, with more story to be told and some structuring problems. I would very much recommend checking out this docuseries on Netflix. It dives into a lot of details that you might not be familiar with, a lot of things that the media isn't touching on. I will say a warning, it does get into some graphic material, some hard, tough stuff, but this is something that people need to be educated on. In closing, I'm going to give Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich 3.5 out of 5 Netflix documentaries. So what did you guys think of Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. There's hopefully tomorrow going to be a new ending explained poorly. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, follow all of my social media down there. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.